kind of a show are you guys putting on here today?
The views expressed on the following broadcasts do not necessarily reflect those of KHLT, Take 12 Radio, or our affiliates. The opinions on this show should not be considered as medical, psychological, or professional advice and are those of the host, co-host, and guest. Take 12 Radio and KHLT Recovery Broadcasting are not affiliated with any particular 12-step fellowship.
A very scary experience.
You know, God is a solution. God, the 12 step.
I like where he's going here.
Helps the community grow, helps us grow.
Bonnie has done a phenomenal job.
Lack of open-mindedness.
And you're talking about taking people through a spiritual process, getting them into recovery.
Thanks, Monty, and thanks for all your support.
We need spirituality to make this thing work long term.
It's an absolute pleasure. He certainly knows a lot of people.
This is one of the places that is about the business of the solution.
And now, broadcasting on location somewhere in the vast expanse of the Pacific Northwest, it's the over-opinionated 12-stepologist, the Monty Man.
That's right. We kind of mixed it up a little bit there, huh? That's a little different.
You over-opinionated? Never.
Yeah. So we didn't have the Brain Dead song, and we didn't have Coffee Black, but we did have... this was the intro that we used for a long, long time on Interview Friday, when we used to have Interview Friday shows. Yeah. So some of the voices that were there was... I can't remember that guy. Another guy. And one gal, I met
but we
her,
love you.
I met her at the CORE conference back east, and Chris Schroeder was on there, one of the most downloaded AA circuit speakers in the world. He was on there. He's the one that said this is one of those places, it's about the solution.
Isn't he one of the singers?
No, he's not a singer.
Oh, okay.
No. Chris, please don't ever sing. Anyway, so I just thought we actually had a special show on Saturday that we did my 3 favorite long playing rock songs.
I haven't listened to it yet.
You want to know what my 3 favorite long playing rock songs are? Traffic's "Low Spark of the High Heel Boys" was number 3. Number 2 was Sugarloaf's "Green Eyed Lady." And number 1 of my favorite long-playing rock songs, because some rock songs go on and on and on. Some actually go 43 minutes.
What?
Yeah, there's some that actually
Are these recovery rock songs? Or...
No. These are just rock songs.
Oh.
Yeah, so my number 1 favorite of all time was Iron Butterfly's "In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida." "In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida."
It's kind of like the name of her dog.
I know. So we're going to talk about her dog here in a second, but it does sound kind of like that, doesn't it?
It's her cousin.
So "In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida" was actually a song that was meant to be the guy that put it together was a little drunk. When he was sharing with his bandmates the name of the song was supposed to be "In the Garden of Eden," but he was slurring his words, and he said and the drummer thought he said "In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida," and so it stuck, and so
that's awesome.
Anyway, so you can go to Podomatic, and it says it's called a Rock Show Recovery. And it's just I'm playing those 3 long playing songs, just having fun with it. And so we produced that last week just for fun and for free. So why should our lives be just about recovery? 12 steps this, 12 steps that. I mean, everything we talk about is steps. I mean, we got sober, right, to live life, have a balance of life.
Well, like one of my counselors used to say, you got to find that 20% of fun.
Yeah. Do something besides just drink bad coffee and talk about how you can't pay your bills. Anyway, I got a couple. I got a couple of things I want to complain about. Can I complain about these?
Please, please do.
Please do. Well, so we have bought our car, our 3 cars now, from South Pacific Auto Sales in Albany, Oregon. They are not paying me to say this, but we have had wonderful luck with them. Now, as with any place, you get mixed reviews. And I've heard people say, well, I've heard terrible things about them. Well, but my personal experience has been every car we've ever bought has always been a champion. And they've always treated us well. And if something was wrong with it, they knocked the price way down. I mean, they just have treated us very well. So I was getting ready and their oil changes are only $21.
Oh, nice.
And they do rotate your tires, they do the lube, they do everything else. Everybody else, even Jiffy Lube, they want like $28 to $30, you know. Anyway, so I called them up to schedule an oil change for Colin's car and my truck, and I called the wrong number. I didn't call South Pacific Tire Pros. I called South Pacific Tire and Wheel. I didn't know there were 2 different places.
That's weird.
So I called South Pacific Tire and Wheel, thinking that it was South Pacific Tire Pros, and the guy chewed me out.
What?
You know, he's like, I said, can I schedule an oil change? He goes, no, absolutely not. You have called the wrong place. Get your information straight.
Oh, I would have lost it.
Click. And I'm like, wow.
You didn't call him back?
No.
I would have.
No. and the guy at South Pacific Tire Pros says, we get calls for him all the time, but we don't treat his people like that. You know, I'm just like, so listen, here's the thing. I mean, if somebody calls you and they got the wrong number, why do you got to be a jerk about it? You know?
Yeah.
That's no way to run a business. Maybe I wanted to buy tires from the guy someday.
You'll never know now.
Somebody said, you're not going to mention their name. I go, yeah, I am.
Shame on you.
Yeah, I am. So I don't like South Pacific Tire and Wheel anymore.
No.
Not that I ever really did. I just got the wrong number. So that was my first.
Well, I won't call them. That's
my first wham. But this one's even more important. This one is, it just really gets me where it hurts. And that's, you know, you can mess with a lot of things in the Monty Man's life. You can steal my animals, you can burn my house down, you can firebomb my car, but don't screw around with my food.
Oh my God.
You know what I'm saying? Don't be messing with my food.
Uh-oh.
What happened? John Carino's is a restaurant chain.
I love that place.
The food is always cold, but I really like their food. So I just have to make sure that I let them know, hey, your food tends to be cold a lot. So please, you know. And so we went there the other night. And by the way, the lasagna was amazing. 16 layers.
Yep.
And they made sure it was very, very hot, you know. And, I'm hearing that microphone thing. There we go. So they have a thing called Pasta Points. Now, Pasta Points is an app you can put on your phone. And every time you go and have dinner, you earn these points. And you get so many points, and you can get a free whatever. And one of my favorite free whatevers is called a salad wedge. It's like a quarter head of lettuce.
Yes, they're amazing.
With chunks of bacon and this, I can't think of the name of the cheese, gorgonzola or something like that.
I think so.
It's really good. And then these thin green sour apple slice piece. Oh, it's just amazing stuff. So every month, right? And then I get it free because I'm a member. I get a free salad wedge every month anyway.
Yeah.
So you earn pasta points. Well, Marcia had earned enough pasta points to actually pay for a full meal.
Oh.
And I had earned enough pasta points to get a salad wedge and some breadsticks or something like that. So I asked her, I said, so can we use these? She goes, well, the policy now is that you can only one person at the table can use their pasta points.
What?
Only one person at the table can use it. So if you have a free salad wedge, and Marv, you have a free salad wedge, and I have a free salad wedge, we cannot all go at the same time.
You know what I would do is I would sit at separate tables.
Yeah, well, they're hip to that. They're in fact, not only that, but even if you have separate checks, you can only have one person per table can get their free thing. And I'm thinking, you're messing with my food.
Right.
I've earned these points.
Mm-hmm.
I've paid for my meals. I've got this. And now you're telling me I can't get it because I'm sitting with my wife?
Well, I mean, even our app, we just do multiple transactions. I mean, it's that easy.
Well, see, I know what they're trying to do is they've had people come in for lunch or something, maybe 9 or 10 people, and they all got a free thing. And so nobody's paying any. They've all got a free item on their app, and so they got a whole table full of people getting free food.
Well, that's
and they're trying not.
Yeah.
They're getting tired of doing it. Well, they screwed up. They should never have offered this thing.
Unless
now,
you can pay for it.
Now they're saying only one person per table. And I'm telling you, you're messing with my food. I don't appreciate it.
I'm going to find this app, and I'm going to have me and my whole household download it and use it and everything, and then sit at separate tables, and then when all of our food gets there, we just go to the same table.
Yeah. So,
using
see, there it is right there. Okay, see, free salad wedge.
Yeah.
Right? Pasta point. It's
Shame
called
on you,
pasta points.
Koreanos. I'm never going back now.
Well, no. Don't do that. Don't do that. We got to have enough because their food is good when it's hot. So we just have to say that's just unacceptable. You know, I'm not sitting here trying to buy a bunch of free food. It's kind of bait and switch.
Yeah.
Because you get it and then you get there and you find out you can't
use it.
Right.
Ugh.
So you have to go by yourself, I guess. Go dine by myself. Anyway, so there's my 2 whiny things for. I think, Marv, you think it's worthwhile whining?
I'm just glad there was only 2. I mean, I have a long list.
Okay. Oh, I guess I can whine about one more thing. When you buy a Kia,
why did you do this, Marv?
When you buy a Kia Soul, and we purchased a Kia Soul in 2015. When you buy a Kia Soul, they come with stock tires. Now, I don't know if this is true, and maybe somebody out there can let me know. But I don't know. Do most cars, when you buy them brand new, do they come with stock tires? It's kind of like a printer. When you buy a printer at the stationery store, it comes with ink, but the ink's only half full, right? Because it comes with the printer. Stock tires, are they like maybe not the best tires or something? Because I noticed that the tread on our tires, it went down really fast. So there's my third whiny thing. Now I got to buy brand new tires, and I shouldn't have to buy them this soon. Anyway, so there you go.
I would just be happy with the brand new car.
Yeah. So I am whining.
Well, okay. I think.
You think that maybe is the case?
I believe you're right. I think the quality of the rubber on stock tires coming off the showroom floor they're not very good tires.
Yeah. And don't you think that when you buy a brand spanking new car, they ought to fill up the gas tank?
Oh yeah, that I agree with.
You know, we bought a Honda years ago, and all I wanted was the hat. There was a hat that said Albany Honda or something like that. They wanted to charge me $20 for that hat. I guess I just spent $25,000 on a car. You can't give me a hat?
Jesus.
I mean, I go open my bank account. They give me a toaster or a teddy bear.
So are there new shoes on horses?
Fair. It just isn't fair.
Right. What about horses? When you buy a horse, do they have new shoes?
Well, if you're smart enough to make sure they do, yeah.
So speaking of,
but in Oregon, a lot of people don't know this. If you buy a horse,
yeah,
the law says you have to furnish a halter and a lead rope with the horse.
Ah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's kind of like, well, I bought a Honda, but they didn't give me the cap.
Yeah. I mean, what's up? You know, speaking of tires, Denver is not here today because he's getting new tires on his motorcycle. And I did not know this, but it makes total sense. A lot of people don't want to put tires on a motorcycle. I mean, Les Schwab and these the Tire Pro companies, something like that, because that means they got to dismantle the bike.
That's right.
So if you thought putting a rear tire on a 10-speed bike was a pain in the neck, with all the gears and everything. Just
And
try a
the chain.
motorcycle. So it's very expensive to do that. So he's out doing that today. And so we wish him well, I guess.
No wonder he looked so nervous last week.
Yeah. So anyway, there's that there. I wanted to say, okay, so I need to apologize to Bob White. Now, Bob White is the regional overseer, I guess, I'm not sure what the title is, for Celebrate Recovery for this area. So last week, Celebrate Recovery in the Park, Lebanon version, went off without a hitch. And for their first go at it, I thought it turned out pretty good. Marv came.
You came?
He brought his cowboy hat. And there were more people there than I actually for Lebanon that I thought would be there. And it turned out well.
Mm-hmm.
And so anyway, but I, on last week's show, evidently I said when I was promoting it, I had stated this is Recovery in the Park B, meaning that Albany's was Recovery in the Park A. And I guess some people got offended by that, and I'm sorry. That was not my intent. I did say that we're probably not going to go this year. We're going to see how it kind of pans out. I didn't mean I wasn't going to go. I meant the radio station wasn't going to have a booth. And that is typical, just so the Recovery of the Park folks know this and understand that. It is not typical for me to drag my stuff to an event the first time.
Yeah.
When it's their first time. Mm-hmm. I want to check it out. I want to see how it's going. I want to know who's sponsoring it. I want to know, what I just want to know who I'm hitching my wagon to. And so I kind of knew that already, but I just want to see what the thing turned out to be. And it turned out very well. So I definitely will be there next year. But I wasn't trying to not promote it. I was trying to promote it. And I think it got misunderstood and it kind of lost it. So, Bob, I apologize. I think you're an awesome guy and you're doing an amazing work in Lebanon with Celebrate Recovery. They really, really are. And he supplied the decal on my truck that says Celebrate Recovery on the back window.
Oh, is that where you got that?
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. He's a great guy. So, listen, support your local Celebrate Recovery wherever you're at. So I wanted to do that. So, listen, I want to, before we take our break, I want to talk about your dog. How do you pronounce your dog's name?
Nevaeh.
Nevaeh, which is heaven spelled backwards.
Yes.
She has a cat named Satan.
It's Lucifer.
And she has a dog whose name is heaven spelled backwards.
And a cat named Martini.
Martini.
Screwed.
So Satan is drinking martinis in heaven. Nevaeh. So Nevaeh, tell the listeners what happened to Nevaeh.
I can't promise not to cry. So
Nevaeh's a big dog, by the way.
She's 100 pounds, a 3-year-old puppy.
Yeah.
So there was a tool in the yard, not this Friday, last Friday, and we didn't think it was sharp. Long story short, she got a huge gash behind her. What do you call this?
Pad.
The pad on the back where like a thumb would be on a human, I guess.
Right.
And it like gouged her, and just, it looked like a murder scene at the house in the car. So long story short, 2 sedations later and penicillin later and everything, she had reaction to the reversal shot, had to go back in Saturday morning at 5, get that taken care of, and plus her fever. And then we had to go in again Sunday morning and because she was puking, and just a whole bunch of complications. And
right.
In and out of the vet with her all this week. And so it's
been very traumatic.
And expensive.
And so you've been dealing with this pretty much on your own. She weighs 100 pounds and so forth. So just so people know that none of us here are made of money, that's for sure. We don't get paid for any of this stuff. And this kind of stuff is very expensive. Now, you had to go in during the weekend, right?
3 times. All weekend I was there.
Yeah, so that is even more cost because you're getting a hold of the vet after hours, basically. And so it's very expensive. So
may I say James and Mariah did help me, though, with her over the weekend. Just the week they're gone.
Right. So there's a GoFundMe page. And I'm asking personally for your guys' help with this. The GoFundMe page is NEV. Wait, is this the GoFundMe page? Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's GoFundMe.com, right? And then
//
it's /NEVAEH. So that's heaven spelled backwards. dot
Dash.
Oh no, dash. I'm sorry, dash. So heaven spelled backwards. Dash RHIANNA.
It's Navariana.
Navariana. Okay. So, or you can go to my Facebook page or Tony's Facebook page. Tony's Facebook page is just type in TJ Karina, Karina. It'll take you to her Facebook page. Or Kylie's mama, that'll take you to her Facebook page, KYLLIES. Or to go to the Take 12 Radio Facebook page. And there's a GoFundMe announcement on there. If you could help out in any way, and Tony always says it, it's the little amounts that add up. So if you think, well, my $5 isn't going to help. Well, yeah, it is. If you could help out in any way, shape, or form to help pay for Heaven Spelled Backwards vet bill, we would really appreciate it.
Thank you, Monty.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it.
Well, you bet. And I remember we promoted your friend.
Oh, my niece Shelby and Nick.
Yeah, when their dog was sick. You know, our animals are our family. They're family members.
I do it all over again, and she still has a couple of follow-up visits, but
yeah. So we'll get through it.
Yeah,
it'll work out. So please, folks, if you would do that, if you donate, and I'll just put this out here, if you donate to Take 12 Radio every month, which we just have a couple people that do, but donate to the GoFundMe page instead this month. We're fine this month. So do that.
Are you sure?
Yeah. So if you're thinking about donating something to Take 12 Radio this month, just go to Heaven Spelled Backwards dash RHIANNA on GoFundMe or follow the link at Take 12 Radio. All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, you bet. So we'll be back right after this with our topic. No, we got Take 12 trivia. I just did that. But our topic is security. So we'll be back right after this. And now, here's Pastor Johnny Baker for Celebrate Recovery.
Celebrate Recovery is for all of us because we've all been hurt and we've all hurt other people. We've all got things in our lives that keep us stuck and keep us frozen, things we wish we didn't deal with. And for many of us, we have these addiction issues that also just rob us of any joy or peace that we have in our life. The thing about Celebrate Recovery is that it's a biblical program and it's got 8 principles that lead us from one place to the next place over one day at a time after one day at a time. So we begin where we realize that we're not God. We come out of denial. We face our fears. We face the problems that have keeping us stuck. We turn our lives over to Jesus. We do things like taking a moral inventory of our lives and we look at all the things that we've done have been done to us to help us come out of that. We talk to other people about what's happening. Then, at the end, we serve other people because we believe that God uses our pain so that we can help other people when they go through pain.
To locate Celebrate Recovery in your area, visit CelebrateRecovery.com.
Too much God talk for you? Then you've tuned into the wrong station. This is Take 12 Recovery Radio.
Okay, it's time for Take 12 Recovery Radio Trivia. Wait for it. Wait for it. All right, here we go. Okay, take it away. The Monty Man. Yippee!
That's right. Yippee. Thank you, Cecil.
One day I want to make that noise with my own mouth. Okay, that's weird. See how exhausted I am?
Yay. Okay. So this week is duck trivia. Next week will be beaver trivia.
Oh, God.
Now, some people aren't going to understand what I'm talking about because they're not from Oregon. But we have 2 sports teams here. They do basketball, baseball, and football. And they have we have more than 2. But the 2 primary, yeah. Other than the Trailblazers. What are the Trailblazers called?
Yeah, but those are pro.
Those guys are pro, though. This
is college.
This is college, yeah. So there are the Ducks and the Beavers. And so we're going to do the Ducks first. So this isn't sports trivia. This is duck trivia. So if you get it right, if you get it wrong, You get a duck fluff.
Are ducks like horses?
Ducks like horses. I don't think ducks love you either. I mean, they just want to snap at your feet. All right. So for fun and for free, there are species of ducks found worldwide on every continent except one. Here are your choices. Which one are that you can't find any ducks? Antarctica, Africa, or Australia?
I'd say Antarctica. It's too cold.
Antarctica? Got penguins up there.
Yeah, but they
kind of
don't
ducky,
have.
are they?
Well, I don't know.
I don't know. What do you think, Marv?
Australia.
Australia? Well, Tony, you're right.
Oh wow!
It is Antarctica. Sorry, Marv.
Does it say why?
No.
Oh, okay.
Because they don't live there.
Oh.
Well, isn't that just ducky?
Number 2, a baby duck is called a duckling. An adult male is called, and here are your choices, a drake, a darum, or a duckly.
I think B.
A darum?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, Marv?
Drake.
A drake? Marv's correct. It is a drake. Yep. Sorry.
It's okay. How did you know that? Oh.
He just did.
I can't know.
I can't know. All right, and here's your third one. A hen will lead her ducklings. Now listen to this carefully. A hen will lead her ducklings up to a half mile or more over land after hatching in order to find a suitable water source for swimming and feeding. As soon as a baby duck's down is dry after hatching, they will... Here you go. You know what the down is, right? That's their feathers. Okay. They will be left by their mother to fend for themselves.
Oh, my God.
You know, nature can be cruel, right?
Rude.
B, begin to swim on their own. Or C, begin to quack and what is referred to as squeal.
Don't look at me.
As soon as their first down is dry, does their mom leave them? Do they swim on their own or do they squeal? What do you think, Marv?
They swim on their own.
Swim on their own? What do you think?
I'm going to go with him.
Yeah, you guys are right. They do begin to swim on their own as soon as their down is dry.
I'd be more confused after that long entrance to that question. That's all it is.
All right, here's your last one. Can a duck hold its breath underwater for more than 5 minutes?
No.
No? What do you think, Marv? Can a duck hold its breath underwater for more than 5 minutes?
I know they dip.
I don't think so.
You don't think so? You guys are correct. They can't hold their breath at all.
Oh. That's why they dip.
They can't. They don't go, all right, okay, Fred, let's see how long you can hold your breath. Yeah, they don't go around holding their breath. They just don't do that.
That's not all the questions, is it?
Yeah, there was only 3 in the bonus.
I thought sure you'd have the one about do a duck have lips?
Can I have teeth?
Does a snake have a lap?
Right.
That's awesome.
Well, do snake have lips?
I don't want to find out. I'm not going to get close enough to look.
You know, I think there's a female duck cartoon where the duck has lips.
Yeah, but
I can't remember the name of it.
what are you watching?
I don't know. Maybe it was something from the 60s. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Larry does it for Take 12 Trivia. There we go. Okay, so next week, Beaver Trivia.
I'm scared.
You're scared.
Does a beaver have lips?
Does a beaver have lips? Sure.
Okay.
Why not?
No, that's not the question.
Does a duck have lips?
Do a beaver use denture cream?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's right.
I forgot about that. Oh, my God. We could do a whole show on that.
Oh, my goodness. All right. Taken from the Character Qualities class book, inspired by the Adult and Teen Challenge program. The Character Quality Security is the topic this week. The opposite quality is anxiety. Anxiety. So the question is, or the definition rather is, learning to build affections around the person of God. and learning to appreciate temporal possessions without making them the focus of your delight. So I wish they had worded it just backwards and said learning to appreciate temporal possessions without making them the focus of delight. Why? Because we're trying to focus our affections around God. So one of the things that is very, very much at the center of most, and I say most because there are exceptions, 12-step fellowships, is that they are about helping you develop a relationship with a power greater than yourself to help you solve your problem. And so we talk about that a lot, but sometimes we don't go much deeper than just saying that or quoting the third step prayer, or, made a decision to turn my will and my life into the care of God as I understood him. But really, if that is such a big deal, and I believe it is, then we need to pay attention to building our affections around our Creator rather than stuff, right? And then, but being at the same time, being able to enjoy our stuff without them being the focus of our delight, so to speak. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So let's talk about this a little bit. Marv, has stuff, your horses, your vehicle, your property. Ooh, that was fun.
God is talking.
That was fun. Relationships, have they ever been the focus of your delight over and above God?
Yeah, I think so in years past.
Yeah.
Probably not so much right now, but.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so what kind of problems has that caused for you before?
Well, one of them, right off the top of my head, is worrying about something that doesn't matter. Worrying about taking care of what I have.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the other part of that is what I have in my mind had to do with who I am at the same time.
Okay. So you found your identity in stuff. Sure.
Yeah, quite a bit.
Yeah. Yeah. So I heard somebody say one time, learning to want what you already have was a good thing. Instead of always going after the next shiny object. Or,
like appreciating it?
Yeah. Learning to want what you already have.
Yeah.
I mean, do I enjoy, do I have a 32-inch television and I'm just dying to get a 60-inch? And I've only had the 32-inch television for a year. But because now there's a 60-inch, I've got to go after that. Do I appreciate what I already have? Something like that. To maybe even in relationships. I mean, do people look for the prettier, the more handsome, the one that has money? This relationship isn't that great. They don't really have a good job. But Joe over there, man, he's a doctor.
Yeah.
People do that. They jump from relationship because their security is found in stuff or other people or money. Have you built your life around making money?
Not to a sense of trying to do it because I suck at it, but...
At making money?
But trying to, back in the day, find that person who had money to settle with.
Right.
I guess that would be a form of it. I don't know. Maybe that's about it.
Well, it's kind of the American dream, especially for women, right? You get married, you a husband that provides for you. I mean, but then years ago, and I say years ago because it's been actually quite a while now, that women really came into their own and said, no, wait a minute. I can fend for myself. I can be a businesswoman. I can go to college. I can do this stuff.
Yeah.
Right. And
I guess I said it wrong. It's like, I was so into my alcoholism, I thought that money could save everything, but it can't.
Sure.
And so I guess I was seeking that relationship like that. Like, oh, he has money, he'll take care of me. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
No.
I suck at explaining things sometimes.
So, can we enjoy possessions and things and even our money without making them our God? I think so.
Oh yeah, definitely. I can now.
Yeah.
Like James is perfect. He's just, we're a team. So now I'm content with my life, and it's not because of money.
But could you have been content? Could you have felt secure without James?
No.
Really?
To a point.
To a point you could have.
Well, I did, but I hate being alone. But that's not.
Oh, okay. So that's not necessarily.
It's the reverse one. It's the anxiety part.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
He calms me.
He calms you.
Mm-hmm.
What's he do to calm you?
Just his presence.
Just his presence.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he is very. Have you met him yet, Marv? Yeah, he's a very calming person.
Mm-hmm. You just around him, you're like, oh, the world's better.
He's been in my home.
In your crawl space.
In my crawl space.
And at church.
And at church. Because he's a heating and air conditioning guy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. He's actually, I've known him longer than I've known you, Tony.
I know.
So Tony, when she first told me about James, I was like, I think I know him. I think he knows me. On a very
kind of creepy
kind of intimate level. He knows my crawl space. He knows my attic. He knows. That just sounded creepy, didn't it?
A little bit.
Sorry, James.
But no, he just has that calming personality.
He does. So one of the things we talk about when we talk about emotional sobriety is learning to be comfortable in our own skin, regardless of what's going on around us. I think that's having a sense of security. So if something were to happen to James, if something were to happen to Marcia, if my 12-step home group were to blow up, and I mean literally, but I mean poof, but I mean sometimes that happens. There's been meetings, for instance, that have known to just dissolve,
fall apart, and
fall apart. If I total my brand new car, if I lose my job, if I get that pink slip, and I've worked for him for 30 years, that happened. Remember when the GM plants closed down, Marv, and everybody was getting fired? And if all that happens, am I going to be okay?
I think after time, you'll be okay. The initial shock will always...
You're going to rock your world.
But after time, like...
Yeah.
Like with me and the divorce, I was okay before James came along. I was fine.
Right.
I had to.
So again, I think we're looking at this from a spiritual perspective. Where's our security? Where is it in? Is it in temporal things? And everything is temporary except for God.
Well, that's when I started going to church. It was after the divorce.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I needed something.
Yeah. Yeah. And so your security is more founded in your relationship with God, probably than it ever was before, right?
Yeah.
But I think, too, though, that even people who believe in God are not secure.
They're insecure.
I think it's a process, just like a lot of other stuff is.
Sure.
Yeah. And I'm still learning too.
We feel there's that feeling word again. We feel secure when everything seems secure, right? When things are going right, and all that. And I could sit here and say, oh yeah, I have no problem with feeling secure if I lost everything, but then lose everything and see what happens.
See what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, maybe we should be not so quick to criticize people that are hurting when they lose everything. Well, don't you just believe in God, man? You got to be okay. Well, we're human, and we do find security. I mean, some people are happy in a tent on a hillside. Other people have got to have a house to live in. My son, my older son, give him a sleeping bag, and he's fine. You know what I mean? My other son, man, not so much. So we're all different.
I'm with Colin.
You're with Colin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
So John, there's two scripture verses here about this. John, Gospel of John, chapter 6:27 says, "But you shouldn't," and I like that, shouldn't, because that suggests that maybe we don't do it perfectly. But you shouldn't be so concerned about perishable things like food. Mm-hmm. No, spend your energy seeking the eternal life that I, the Messiah, can give you. For God the Father has sent me for this very purpose. For what purpose? To give you eternal life. Mm-hmm. And so don't be so concerned about perishable things like food. Now, it's interesting that he uses food instead of maybe other things, because food was a huge deal, and I kind of joked about it at the beginning of the show. You burn my house down, but don't mess with my food.
Yeah.
Right? Food was a big deal in biblical times. It was representative of family, fellowship, faith. I mean, whenever you did anything, it was surrounded around a meal. Mm-hmm. There's even a part in Scripture that talks about when a person's behavior is so horrible that to help bring them into changing their mind, don't even eat with them.
Oh, that's what Pastor Kelly said.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
And why? Because it is a symbol of it's a bonding thing. It's so huge, the whole food thing. So it's interesting. It says don't be so concerned about food. It's a perishable thing, but be more concerned about eternal things. Proverbs 3, 5, and 6 says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Never rely on what you think you know." Remember the Lord in everything you do, and he will show you the right way. So is our security in our thought process? Sometimes. And that's a little different than, food or money or relationships. But do I think I know enough to lean on my own understanding? We've all heard people say, well, the more I learned, the more I found out I didn't know so much. Right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of the beginning of wisdom, is realizing I don't got it all in my head.
Is that where I can't know came from?
No.
No? Oh, okay.
He can't know that answer.
Okay. It sounded like it would. Doesn't it?
I can't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think in our recovery, it is absolutely vital that at some point, and I think the sooner the better, at some point we at least get an understanding that our security, what we feel secure around, needs to switch from our intellect, from meetings, from people, from coffee, from my sponsor, it needs to make a shift to things that are eternal, i.e. God. And I think that is definitely a individual journey that isn't going to look the same. It's like a snowflake. Nobody's is going to look the same. And so I think we need to be very patient with people that we think, well, gosh, why aren't they there yet? Well, because they're not.
Yeah.
Right. I've seen people come into the Adult and Teen Challenge Center, for instance, and be there. It's a 12-month program. Be there for 8 months and not get it. And then 3 months or 2 months before they're ready to complete, something happens. And it's like a switch gets flipped. Something happens. So I think we never give up on people that appear to be insecure in their walk with God or insecure in their own recovery. I think we always have hope. And I think we need to do that with ourselves. Because I think we sometimes put security in where we think we ought to be by now.
Yeah.
I ought to be here by now. You would think after going to this many meetings and working the steps that I would get this better. And I think we can be pretty hard on ourselves. And sometimes we need to be firm even with ourselves, but I think we can be a little too harsh. Why didn't I blew it again. I'm just a loser. Where's your security and your accomplishments?
I'm my own worst critic.
Are you?
Oh, God. I get out on myself all the time about everything.
Right.
Like, we were talking about the show. I didn't talk about anybody about this GoFundMe thing until just today. but I was beating myself up over what to do or not do. I find it hard to trust in people enough where I should, like you were saying, where I should be now, years later, but it's hard for me to grasp the concept that somebody will listen when I need it.
And you don't want to be perceived as somebody who's begging for help.
Yeah.
Right? And
so I just didn't talk to anybody.
And that's hard. That's hard for people. I think that may be hard for guys too, right, Marv? To say, hey, man, I need some help, especially when it comes to financially.
Yeah, it is hard.
Yeah.
And that's why I broke down talking to you guys, because I didn't know how to talk to people sometimes.
Right. What are you going to say, Marv?
Yeah, for me, it's shameful.
Yeah.
You feel ashamed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good description.
And that kind of deals with our ego and our pride and or our past. Especially if we were raised with, you got to be able to pull yourself up by your own bootstraps. Nobody can help you but you. You just
you got yourself into this mess. Get yourself out.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's kind of like, your security needs to be in your own accomplishments. Don't ask anybody for help.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And I think that is why it's hard. But I do the same thing. I'm like, well, we went through this time, Marsha and I did, in our home, where we were, barely even eating the bad macaroni and cheese. The stuff, the horrible.
Like what got delivered that one time?
Yeah, like we got, and we literally didn't know. I mean, the lights were flickering. We couldn't have any heat, so we're bundling up in blankets and things like that. And people would ask us, "Why didn't you say anything?" And one of the things that my wife said, and I totally get it. She says, because I don't want people to think, well, here come the Myers again.
Exactly.
Always needing a handout.
Yeah.
We weren't asking for a handout. But that was kind of in our own head. People were actually going, why didn't you say anything? Then the other side of the coin is people say that, but then you ask them for help.
And yeah.
Well, I can't help you right now.
Yeah.
It's like, so it is kind of a mixed bag of emotions. Our security many times is the way we feel about it is dependent on how we feel about other people feeling about us.
Well, and exactly, and I've done so much work, and I'm sure you guys have too, of course, that you want to protect that part of your security, that you've regained relationships with people that when you need something, you don't want that to get ruined. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
No, it does.
Yeah.
It does.
Because trust is hard to get back. So when I ask for help, I feel like I let people down.
And yet, if we don't ask for help, people will tell us we've let them down.
I knew I wouldn't like this topic.
It's difficult. It's difficult because you almost feel, don't you sometimes feel trapped? It's like, I can't turn right, I can't turn left, but I'm in this dilemma.
Yeah.
Well, I think there's another element.
What's that?
Involved with this too. And this is just me.
Yeah.
And I may be the oddball of the universe. I don't know. But
we all are.
The third element that torments me is, what would God want you to do?
Yes. That's good.
And I'm talking about where you have to make some decisions, and it might be about trying to get help or trying to decide. Well, for me, I'm trying to find a home right now.
Yeah.
That's a big deal to me, but, and then I've come up with all kinds of little ideas to do something different. And I'm saying, wait a minute, what does God want me to do?
Exactly.
And of course everybody's going to say, well, you just wait. And, but I'm just saying that's part of the deal.
It is.
If people, can't believe fully in the Word of God, but they believe in Christ or they believe in God, but yet there's this part that, like I said, it's a process you go through to become what He wants you to be. But in all of the mess, then there's still the part, well, I wonder what God wants me to do.
Exactly.
Do you think that sometimes we don't want to ask ourselves that question because we know and we don't want to go there?
Oh, I think that's possible once in a while, yeah.
So
it just...
Yeah. Because I'm thinking about, okay, what's my part? So let's talk about expenses. I'm in deep weeds here.
Mm-hmm.
Can't pay the rent, can't pay the mortgage, can't pay whatever it is. What's God want me to do here? And then I start thinking things. Well, where can I cut things that I really don't need to pay for?
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
And then I start listing them, and I start getting fearful.
Mm-hmm.
We dumped our cable for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
When the kids were younger. And the fear was that they weren't going to have TV. And do you know it was only a week that went by without any television and they got over it?
Oh, yeah.
Blew my mind. There was like, there's a tree outside. There's an outdoors to have fun in. I mean, but it was like, well, you're talking about, back then, I think it was like $50.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's almost $100 or more.
Ridiculous. I know.
It's like how can we go without that?
Mm-hmm.
And God's kind of tugging on our heart, going, you know what? You can really get rid of that. It's not the healthiest thing in the world anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but do we want to do that? Do we want to make those cuts? I mean, so I think some of it is we're afraid to do what God wants us to do and God's saying, trust me. Don't put your security in that. Trust me. I'll see you through this thing. But I think we're all insecure. I don't think anybody that isn't insecure.
And the way things are in the world today, it makes it even worse.
Right.
More insecurity.
Yeah, because you don't know from moment to moment, right?
Right.
What's around the corner. You can't see around that corner.
Yeah.
There was a time you could kind of make an estimate, when life was simpler, like you talked about.
Yeah.
Things weren't as cloudy. Mm-hmm. But today, I mean, you could be best friends with somebody one day and the next day they're slashing your tires.
Yep.
From something as crazy as that to somebody coming up to you, like in the parking lot, not, a year ago or so, when I pulled in the parking lot and a guy that was probably a good 6 feet away from me in his car, accusing me of dinging his car door. And I hadn't even touched it. And he gets out and he's pointing at the car door going, see, right there's the dent. And there's nothing there. People have lost their minds.
Oh, yeah. People are miserable these days. It's crazy.
So if we're looking for security in the wrong places, we're going to have the opposite quality, which is anxiety. We're going to be anxious. We're going to, and that's not good for our hearts, for our stress levels, for any of that stuff. So it comes back down to trust God, love people. Mm-hmm. And that's a process, and that's difficult. Some days it's a little easier. I'm really great with being secure in my own flesh when things are going well. When the bills are paid, when everything's going smooth, and everybody's my friend and all that stuff. But boy, you throw a wrench in the spokes.
And then it's just like poof.
And I'm agnostic as all get out. I'm doubting God here and doubting God there, And what's really hard is in the job that I have, I can't express that because that would be unethical. I can't go to any one of these 35 guys and go, I just want to kill somebody. Because they all want to kill somebody.
Or maybe they do.
Yeah. So it comes back to trusting God again. All right, guys. So next week we're going to be talking. Trivia is going to be Beaver trivia. Next week, this is a very interesting topic.
Oh no! Security was so bad. No.
Meekness.
Neatness.
Meekness.
Meek.
Meek. M-E-E-K.
What does that mean?
Being meek. Learning how to yield rights and possessions to God. In other words, I don't have any rights. Mm-hmm. Responding properly to anger when others violate personal rights.
Oh, Jesus.
Learning to earn the right to be heard rather than demanding a hearing. Learning to earn it. than demanding my rights. You know, the Bible says the meek shall inherit the earth. He's not talking about wimps. Being meek does not mean you're a wimp. So we're going to talk about what being meek really does mean on the next show. So one of the questions, and if you have children, you're going to identify with this. Do you demand respect from your children rather than teach them to be respectful?
Do you want me to answer that now?
No.
Oh, I already
so
have
we
my
could
answer
say
for
that
next week.
about anybody. Do you demand respect from others rather than teaching them how to treat you? Because we teach people how to treat us by the way we act. Do you grumble about things like paying your taxes? Yes. Do you demand prompt attention and service in a store or restaurant? Oh my gosh.
God.
And you being in the fast food industry.
Like when people come up to the drive-thru and say hello, it's like I didn't even say anything.
On the other hand, most of these stores, you can't get service.
Oh, like you go into a big box store, for instance, like Walmart?
Oh.
There's nobody around.
No.
All I want is a throw rug. Can you help me? No, I don't work here. I'm a stock clerk for the magazine company. Or
right.
Whatever. Can I get some help over in housewares? Well, we're on a break.
They told you that?
Oh, I've heard.
I would have gone off. I'm sorry. There has been no meekness or whatever about that one.
So we'll talk about meekness next week. Our closing song this week is by Jackie Hayen. It's called "Embrace the Day." Check it out.
Kiss your boy, kiss your girl, kiss the sky though it seems absurd. Kiss all things in the great big world like they ain't been kissed before. Break some laws, break some rules, break some bread with someone new. Break some record you broke in school just to prove you could do it once more. Embrace the day. Embrace the day. Drink good scotch or cheap red wine. Drink your drink like you're 10 days dry. Drink each second like it's sunshine and you're living your life in the dark. Make your bed, make your speech. Make some love till your knees go weak. Take some time to find what you seek, or you'll never see yourself in the stars. Embrace the day. Embrace the day. Embrace the day. And it's true, we don't need a map to follow. And it's true, we might not be here tomorrow. And it's true, we take too much for granted. And it's true, we don't ever understand it. Kiss your boy, kiss your girl, kiss the sky though it seems absurd. Kiss all things in the great big world. Kiss all things, kiss all things. Drink good scotch or cheap red wine. Drink your drink like you're 10 days dry. Drink each second like it's sunshine, 'cause it's sunshine. Embrace the day. 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 Embrace the day.
That's right, everybody. Put God first in your recovery right there, and you will embrace your day, you will embrace your life, and you will experience all that your Creator has for you until our next broadcast. This is the Monty Man, along with the Take 12 Recovery Radio family, and we're wishing God's perfect serenity for you. Bye-bye now.
This has been a broadcast of KHLT Recovery Broadcasting.
Kitty, 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 kitty.